And then if you want to try refreshing that page on my website, that way I can make sure that that product is shown here.
As I let you talk.
Keeping myself busy, play a little game, write myself beading, singing lots of nonsense, but singing just the same. Singing, singing, singing just the same. Singing, singing, singing just the same.
Hi, everyone. Welcome, welcome. That was very smooth intro there.
I don't know how these fancy parts of StreamYard work, Heather.
I don't either. Hi, guys. It's been a minute since you've seen me, so I'm so glad to be here with you guys. I'm going to take just a second and share this video. If you could take a second and do that too, that would be awesome. I would so appreciate that. All right. So, hi. We are going to have so much fun today. I'm Heather Powers from Humble Beads, and we have Cassandra from Beads to Live By on the other side of the room, well, right next to me. It looks like you're far away, but you're really not.
Hello.
So if you're here watching, say hello. Let us know where you're watching from. We're over here in my hometown of South Haven, Michigan. Cassandra and I needed a little bit of self-care, and so we decided to have a little procrastination week. Hi, Sheila.
It's our weekend.
It is a weekend for us. Yeah.
It's my weekend.
Yes. So we are here to play with some beads. We put together a really beautiful collection of beads from Cassandra's curated collections, and I made beads to match them. And so I am so excited to jump in. Oh, hi, Jody. You're in Kalamazoo. Hello, hello. Not too far away.
Hi, Jody.
And so what we're going to do is we have a ton of beads. I'm going to share with you guys what's on our bead table, what we're going to be working with. And then Cassandra and I will be taking turns making stuff and walking you through our design process, because we are designing on the fly here. We have people from North Carolina, from Kentucky, South Carolina, Pennsylvania. Hi, guys. So glad to have you here. Make sure you like the videos and share it so that other people can see too. All right. Oh, Pat's lived in Kalamazoo for 6 years. Yay. We have 2 Kalamazoo people. All right. So I'm going to flip my camera over and... One second. I'm not slick at this stuff.
I don't think anybody is slick at this stuff. They change it constantly.
I know. As soon as you get it in your mind how it's going to go, then it's changed. Okay, so I'm going to show you first what's in the curated collection, and then extra little goodies that Cassandra's put together for us. And then I'll show you what Humble Beads I created to match. Hi, Janet. I'm so glad you're here. And Olivia from Arizona. Hello, guys. Okay, so I'm going to put this down just a little bit closer so we can see. We're going to start with the check glass that are in the mix. Does this have a name? Did you call it a name?
I listed it. I think it has the word procrastination in the listing.
Procraftination. Yeah. Are you guys familiar with procrastination? That's when you have a million things to do, but you decide to make something beautiful instead. And so that's procrastinating and crafting at the same time. Procrastination. And so that's what this bundle is called. There's 2 different bundles, and the only difference between the 2 bundles are the birds and disc beads.
So it's all listed under the same item though, and then they'll choose the color difference.
Yes. Oh, can you guys hear me? You guys can hear me, right? It says mute. Have you guys been hearing me? I have to wait now. You can hear it?
Yeah, like on the back end.
Okay. I don't know why this button is blinking. Yes, you can hear me. Can they hear me now? There we go. Okay, that scared me. All right. Back to the beads. In this set, we have a collection of... Cassandra, you want to tell us what these are?
Of course. So there are a faceted drop, and I think those are like 12 by 9 or 6 by 11, somewhere in there.
I love this shape.
Yeah, you know, the quantities that are in Heather's dishes are all the amounts that are in the bundle with her humble beads. So there's an opal. There's an opal glass on that particular drop that I just love so much.
I love it. I love the finish that's on the bottom.
Yeah, there's like a bronze or a copper wash is what that's called.
I love that.
And then we have a few pressed glass flowers because I just felt like I needed to have some flowers in there for Heather's aesthetic.
We need flowers in our lives.
And the 2-hole daggers are an acid wash, just like a crystal with a copper wash on them. And I think it's really interesting because it's like one of the more simplistic possibilities of like color combinations in the check glass, but I just find it really like lovely.
I love those. Right. I think I have some of those in my stash from your shop too when I was
good. You'll have extras to work with.
Yes. And then we have a little seed bead. Are these seed beads?
They're actually a rondelle, so it's pressed glass. Yeah.
They're
they're very even.
Oh, I see they have like a cool texture on the side.
Yeah.
And these are, what color would you call this?
Gosh, it's a luster finish, maybe a, they don't use lavender in like the terminology, but like I would call it a lavender.
I made the bird with the same kind of lustery finish.
Beautiful
to match that.
Colors.
And then we have a seed bead, glass seed bead mix.
Yes.
With 15s through,
sixes.
Sixes.
Yeah, so all the sizes.
All the sizes. So if you're a seed beater, this is a great little treasure trove. If you're not a seed beater, I'm going to show you some non-seed bead weaving ways to use seed beads, because I'm not a bead weaver, but I love seed beads and add them into lots of designs.
And there's about 10 grams there for the seed bead weavers that are wondering.
Good. So about 10 grams. So this is what's going to come in.
There's a few other beads too.
There is?
Here.
Which one did I forget?
These and these are in the...
Oh, where did I put mine?
Oh no. So there's a pinch bead and a pressed.
I just stole yours, Cassandra. I'll have to
replenish them at some point. It's fine.
Okay.
So those quantities might be a little off because I didn't measure out the ones that I had like stuffed in my bag.
These are so tiny and cute.
I know those little bicones are so great. And they have like this like beautiful gold shine, kind of frosty metallic finish. And everybody loves a pinch bead, I feel like.
Yes. In this dark
like a
purple
deep,
oil slick kind of color.
I wanted something darker to kind of balance out anything brighter or lighter that was in the set.
Yes. And I've been seeing this color combination with like terracotta, peach, lilac, and then the darker earthy tone. I love it.
I seriously started digging around in what I had in the basement, as we were just talking about at home, and it was like this all just kind of fell together. I had originally looked at some pictures for inspiration for our colors, and then I just went the other direction.
Yes. This has been like, my daughter, she's in her late 20s, and this has been a color combination she's been wearing a lot of lately. All right, so the bird and the disc beads, this is the purple, and then there's a copper one. So you can pick either purple or copper, and this is what we're going to be playing with today. And I made them specifically to match with the little bead bundle that Cassandra pulled. And then here's the copper. And
They're
these
so
both have a metallic finish to them. And then finally, Cassandra's extra beads that she's pulled. We have just a beautiful assortment of check glass. And all of these are for sale in a bundle, so you can get the whole entire delicious little bundle.
There's 10 different strands, 6 strands of pressed glass, and 4 strands of fire polish in that coordinating bundle.
And here's the fire polish. So lots and lots of options with this colorway. And you could do monochromatic where you just use the terracotta and earthy colors and then purple alone, or you can mix and match too. So lots of design options. And Cassandra, I love how you mixed a lot of different finishes in here. So we have everything from matte to metallic, and then just opal. Is that opal? Is that what you?
That's the AB I think finish. Yep, the button.
Yes.
I just wanted to make sure, because in the bundles that we did for it has the polymer and the check glass in them. There's, mostly smaller beads. And so I wanted people, if they needed some like chunkier options, to just have one little quick stop to be able to do that. But yeah, so just to reiterate, for those bundles that have the humble beads in them with the check glass and the seed beads, those will be consistent with every bead, except for you have to choose your color for your bird and disc beads. Either or. Yeah,
so it's either going to be the copper or the purple. And so you get to choose either one. We've made a very limited quantity, and these are found at Cassandra's website. I'm going to put the link in the comments for you guys. So the link is in the comments if you want to click over there. We've made a limited edition in honor of our little get-together that we're having. Hi, Juliet and Katney and Rosalinda and Suzanne. So glad to have you guys here. Judy, hello. Okay, so let's start making some stuff.
Yay!
I'm going to, Cassandra, do you want to show first what you've got going on over there, since you've already got things going on?
Wow. It's a very loose...
You can at least explain the process.
Yeah, so I will show you guys how I attach the seed beads to the ring finding. This is a ring that is listed on our website, a bead frame. But I'm creating this layer of beads that's attached to it so that I can start to stitch other things onto it. And I was explaining to Heather that I haven't seen a lot of these types of things where I'm thinking I'm going to create some dangles with some of the check glass and seed beads, and then those will get stitched along and dangle off the bottom. And then there's going to be, I have no idea which of the beautiful disc beads I'm going to use yet, but we'll use that to attach it to the ear wire. So that's my general plan, but I'm only so far along the process. Heather, do you want me to share how I do the bead stitching while you're getting along? Okay. It's so much fun working with somebody else, but it's unusual. I know you feel this way too, where it's you're used to just talking to yourself. And
yes, I know. It's weird to have someone to chat with.
I know. It's so nice.
I don't feel so alone.
I was talking to our mutual friend, Kristen from Softflex last night, and she was like, oh, I see you're doing a video with Heather. And I was like, yay, we just did this and this today. And she's like, oh, you guys are actually together in person. I'm like,
so rare.
We're very lucky to live close enough where I can hop over or vice versa. Well, I'm going to get another needle out because that needle is knotted to my project. Oh, that's why you keep a whole tube of needles on hand, guys. Right. Always. And I'm using a very sad old thimble of thread. This is a great thread though, the 1G. We have been only selling multi-packs on the website. I'm going to start listing these individually in the colors that we love because I've been using it a lot more lately. But about a yard of this for what my purposes are today, I think. Little ASMR pulling the thread off the poppet. And then find my new needle I just almost lost track of. And this is a really great, fairly beginner friendly sort of stitching technique. So if you're like,
you know what, Cassandra?
Yeah.
I'm going to switch back to me. I'm going to have you log out and make sure you're on the Wi-Fi here in the house. Because you're a little blurry.
Okay, perfect.
So we're going to, thanks for letting us know, guys. That helps a lot. Okay, so let's go back here. I'm going to make a pair of earrings. Because, you know, low-hanging fruit, right, you guys? Sometimes you just need what you can do quickly. So I'm going to be using, I'm going to put you down a little further. I'm going to be using the check glass flowers, which I really love. They have like a little cottagecore vibe to them, which of course I'm always really into. And I'm going to be pairing them with the little check glass daggers as leaves. And I'm going to use some little seed beads, the darker ones, as the stem. Okay, so, and Cassandra also gave me this. Wait one second, guys. To remember it.
When you said to log into the Wi-Fi, I was thinking, oh no, we're going to have to deal with the password situation.
Try again, get back there. I'm going to write it down for you, and you can add it in.
That was going to be my first.
That would have made more sense. Instead of me.
I was trying to do the least amount of obstruction as possible.
You're going to die laughing. Just okay, so I'm going to start at the bottom here. I have a regular head pen, and I'm going to be slipping on the little dark seed beads, and these are like a dark metallic purple, almost. Well, they're just a very dark with a cool. What's that finish called, Cassandra? That are on these dark.
I think it's an iris.
Iris.
Yeah.
I knew it had a fancy name or an official name. If you're new to seed beads, there's like a whole seed bead language.
I'm going to quick share the video to our Beadstore page before I get back in there real quick.
Sounds great. So I'm just deciding how long I want my little stem to be. And then I'm going to throw on, I'm just going to be, going to add it to the first hole and just pretend it doesn't have another one. And then Cassandra also gave me this luscious little mix of coppery O beads and teacup beads. So I'll be adding those into my projects throughout the session, and you guys can find those on Cassandra's website.
I knew you would need those.
O beads are my favorite little spacers ever.
Ooh. Oh, now it's...
Mute yourself.
Sorry, guys. Trying to get out.
There we go.
Interesting.
Isn't that cute, you guys? I love it. Okay, I'm going to do a little wrap at the top. And I'm going to do a little messy wrap. Well, I don't think I have enough to do a messy one, so I'm just going to wrap it around 2 times on the top here. There we go, and then I'm just going to trim off that back. You guys can make a whole little garden with the check glass beads and a head pin and some little seed beads with a dagger, or you could use little leaf beads too. But these daggers work really well as an impromptu leaf.
Okay, I'm going to try one more time.
Okay. Sandra's getting back into the room.
Okay, am I making noise? No, okay. It must have just gotten unplugged a little when we were moving the phone around.
Gonna pull out my parallel pliers and pinch that guy in a little. He's giving me a little trouble. And these parallel pliers always do the trick. Maybe. There we go. So you want that nice and, oh, it's still out there. Hate when you fight with the simplest things on a video.
Oh my gosh, in case anyone ever wondered if like we were just like, in a Disney movie and birds like put our jewelry together for us, that is not what's happening.
Right? We all fight with the little things. Okay.
What did your shirt say the other day? Perfect mess?
Perfect mess. Yes, I have a shirt that says perfect mess on it. And
I need one.
that is my life. Okay, so that's the bottom. I'm going to do a little humble bead on the top. So that's just mandatory in my world. And I think I'm going to be using these coral mum beads. So what do you guys think? Are you a purple mix or purple birds or copper? Which one do you lean more towards? The coppery colors or the lavender lilac mix? The copper beads are all the same in the sets. Just the birds are different. Wanted some variation. I'm going to grab a big chunky jump ring. Oh, maybe not. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, and then I'm going to do wire wrapping on the top of this one. And I'm going to use copper wire. Usually I'd antique it. I might antique it later, but I'm just going to use raw copper for right now. So it's a little shinier than normal, but that's okay. We have three purples and one copper, and then someone who's like both. Yeah, why would we make you choose?
I was tempted to go peek at the orders to see what people were loving, but I didn't want to delay my re-entry into the video.
Oh, you got your flow going. Okay, I'm going to do a wrapped loop on the top and bottom of my bead here. And I did it 2 times tight, and then I'm going to do it 2 times on top of that to create my messy little wrap, because that's just who I am. I like the thicker look of the messy wraps. I think it balances a little nicer with the larger art beads. And I'm going to grab a spacer from my collection here. I'll grab a little flower spacer to put on the top and bottom. That'll be cute. And I'm going to turn these spacers so they're going upside down. And I think I need a little bead on the top. I'm going to grab one of these size 6 seed beads from the collection.
Yeah, those are so great because they'll work as like a spacer as well as stitched into things.
And sometimes just a little pop of a lighter color just pulls things together. Like it really works well with the white that's coming through on the flowers. And wrapping this, doing that messy wrap here. And now we're going to put it together. And Cassandra will be showing us her bead weaving magic over there in just a second. She is working with her seed beads around a frame. which I love that style. It looks so good. Okay, and ear wire is the last thing we need on here. And then we have a little springtime earring all done. Kind of dark in here. It's tore me out. I wish it was lighter. Yeah, I think for myself, I like both of them. I would have a hard time choosing. And I like them mixed together a lot. I think I definitely love purple more personally, but I tend to wear more copper. Okay, so there's the little flower with the little flower on top with the art bead. And if you're new to Humble Beads, all of the beads that I make are polymer clay, and each one's handmade. And those are in the kit that Cassandra has on her website. Okay, so Cassandra, are you ready?
I am. I can show everybody I stitched a little bit more on the sample. Is my blurriness better?
A little. It's still a little blurry.
I wonder if we're taxing the bandwidth of the stream.
There we go.
Video.
That looks good.
All right. So there's a still shot of what I've done so far. And I will show you guys how I got those, like that first row of beads onto the frame. And then how I'm creating that little, it's like a little ruffle along the edge. So about a yard of that thread. Again, we talked about the 1G. You can match this to the frame color that you're using pretty well, which is part of the reason I like it. If you're doing fringe, it drapes really nicely. And I'll use Sono, S-O-N-O, pretty interchangeably for that. But I think the tough thing about if you're using like a fire line is that you only have so many colors to work with. So it'll show up a lot more on those frames. So I just tied a knot with only like 4 inches left on the end of my thread furthest away from my needle. And I'm working with a size 8 seed bead. I grabbed a copper, but there are, I'll show you the purple ones that are in your mix. So you could easily do this with what you have in the curated set. So there's 2 of those beads on there. I am going to take my needle and dip it inside of the frame, and I'm holding the needle with my non-dominant hand because I'm going to keep that thread held in place. And then as I pull it closer, the bead that is, I'm sure it's not showing up very easily, but the second bead that I added, I'm going to go through that direction. And you'll know that it's right because your beads will pop up like that away from your...
There we go. Maybe raise your camera up just a little, Cassandra.
Okay.
Seems to want to focus a little better if it's
a little further away.
Maybe. We'll see.
Okay. Let's see if I can make this do that. Okay, there we go. It's showing my pile of
I know, right?
over there.
We don't want to show off the secrets.
Be lucky if I don't throw my light over. Okay. Here's where I show this technique, guys. So if for some reason it's not super clear, I can find, just message me on our page and I can always find you another link. But after that first 2 addition, you're only going to add 1 at a time the rest of the way. So I've got my non-dominant hand again holding where that needle is going, and I'm going to pull that thread. And then once I get the bead close to the work, I'm going to go back through that bead. Oh, and I looped around my other beads. I'm like, how? I'll be sitting so sadly.
And Cassandra, these are going to be earrings, right, that you're working on?
Yes, I plan to. I'm not gonna make you guys wait to like watch that whole process now that you've seen the first couple of stitches there. Um, I was going to do some dangles off these, but I think I'm loving these the way that they are. So I'm going to show you how I'm adding this little ruffle. And then once we finish that, I'll get a disc bead on there. So the disc bead will go between my ear wire and the hoop, the bead frame. So coming out of one of your size 8s along the frame, you're going to want to add an 11, which is the second smallest bead in that mix. And then we're doing, I've got an O bead on here, but you don't have to do that. Also in your curated set is one of these little rondelles, which looks like a big seed bead, and then an O bead and another 11. You could replace the O bead with you could do like a whole different set of beads from that curated set, but you end up having the 5 beads on there. And for this quantity and sizing, I'm going to skip one of my 8s and go through a third. So like it'll be every other bead that you go in and out of, so to speak. I know it's like I can't really see my screen. Hopefully it's a little clearer for people, but we'll post good like photos of these too, so everybody can get like a real solid idea of what we did today. And here's the other thing, because I wasn't planning what I was doing, this will be fun to see if I end up with the right amount of beads on the frame to make it an even amount for what I'm adding. I don't know if anyone else thought about that yet. I have. But I'll show you the cheat if I have to, how to like adjust for that, because there's actually a way I can fix that problem, so to speak. So after you go through that one bead that you are attaching the other side of your little ruffle to, you come back up through the following one before you start adding things. Oh, and look at that. I had just the right amount of beads.
Oh, nice.
I mean, it would have only been a 1 bead difference as to whether I had them or not, but you know, I was feeling like I was living dangerously for a minute. Oh, Heather, I have to come up with like a necklace for one of these beautiful birds.
I know.
You were talking about wearing a lot of copper, and I was thinking, you know, if you're wearing neutrals, the lavender would still be a really lovely accent with it.
Yes.
Okay, so last stitch here. I'm just going to reinforce some of these areas.
Does this stitch have a name, Cassandra?
So the part that goes along the frame, for what I have experience with, I would call it a modified brick stitch.
Okay.
The brick stitch is a stitch that you can use without any other apparatus, like just with beads. But the way that we're using it here, it's just a touch different because you've already got something that you work off of. With a lot of the stitches, you normally have to create some kind of bead foundation to be able to then work off of. And I will say this too, the yard of thread that I gave myself was like very generous. So you guys wouldn't even need that much to be able to do what we just showed there. But oh, I'm so excited about it.
From the beading projects that I've done, which are very few, I too would rather have an abundance of thread than have to tie a knot.
I mean, on something this little, especially, that's kind of, and on camera, I will also say that.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys are going to have to vote. Do we want the softer lavender color in the disc bead, or do we want the corally copper?
I like the lavender.
Alrighty.
What do you guys think? That was a quick decision.
That's okay. We needed a quick decision so we could finish something. Oh, goodness, I'm throwing disc beads all over the place. Oh, tossing them across the floor. Oh, I see some of your beads on the floor, Heather.
Oh, yes. There's always...
No, I mean like the ones from my set that you were looking
for.
Oh,
the ones that I dropped. There are always beads on my floor, guys.
Oh, those are some cute Christmas disc beads, though.
They are.
All right. Well, I have at least one of the... Oh, there's the other one. Okay. I was searching all over for one of my lavender ones that was actually right on my tray there. I've got some 22 gauge copper. I would even say a 20 gauge probably would work for what I'm planning to do here. We use a lot of the soft flex craft wire around each slip by because we do so many things with those folks. And I think like 10 inches is what I'm cutting off. I know. Everybody always wants the measurements, and it's like, I don't want to stop and measure things. I want to create a really good attachment to this hoop because I want that disc bead to just sit right up against it. Heather, do you have any thoughts on that? Like when you're wanting to just like throw a bead right against a object and then like create the loop on top.
I'm for that too. Sometimes using just the metal, just the wire, adds more of like a modern touch to it.
Just trying to decide the technique to achieve proper placement.
Oh, and either one would be great, and purple were the other votes that we had.
Perfect.
You can't go wrong.
Sounds like we chose correctly then. There were no wrong answers.
Right.
Both colors were going to look really good with this, but it's just feeling like, you know, making somebody else make a decision for me today. I might even end up doing a little bit of weaving around the humble bead to make sure that there's like a nice connection here. We'll see. Create a loop on the top of them. Figure out the last little bit of it. I don't want to keep all of this part because the beading hoop is nice and large. Now there's two sizes available of those, and I am using the larger of the two. This is a 30 millimeter. You could definitely size down in your hoop, and then you wouldn't have to worry quite so much like I am about like how much length your top bead would be adding, which is not like a problem. I'm just being kind of cognizant of it. Yeah, I like this color bead with this because of the silver hoop. I only have these hoops in silver or gold, so I had to do like a two-toned metal palette.
I love the hoops. Looks very summery.
Thank you, friend. It's kind of
the
what we're
vibe.
going for, right?
It is almost that time.
Gosh, it could not come soon enough. This weather today was like a stark, like, jolt back to reality of what we normally should be experiencing, I think, this time of year. But hey, guys, I channeled my beautifully messy wraps courtesy of Heather here. So hopefully we achieved that. Again, too much wire, but if we hadn't had enough, it would have been annoying. And I think some of this wrapping is just going to be nice for kind of the texture that otherwise would be placed by like having some space or beads or something. I just wanted to keep. And then I'm using my pliers to kind of squish my little bit along the bottom there. I am going to keep my promise about using this longer piece of wire actually and doing.
So I see a few of you are joining us just now and saying hello. If you are just popping in, feel free to say hello to us. We'd love to hear from you guys. Where are you watching from tonight? Today. It's not night yet. Oh, it
feels like it.
We're just ready to go out and get margaritas and tacos, so we're hoping it's nighttime. Well, another bit of procrastination. I went to my first wine tasting with Cassandra this weekend. That was super fun.
I was so happy to be able to take you. I felt like I was like taking my child off to college or something.
She's sophisticated now.
Oh, stop it. Not like that.
Hi, Dale, watching from the Gulf Coast of Mississippi. Welcome.
Okay, I have one earring done. That will sit without up air for a minute, I bet. We have to show something else, right? I gotta do another idea before we are done. Get this on my ear wires. Got a little bit of a kink in the part that goes along the earlobe, so I might have to give that some love, but appreciate you guys putting up with all my fumbling. I feel like I'm so out of my element, not working at my
She's dazzled and overwhelmed by the beauty of my studio.
Yes, all these beautiful beads makes me just like giddy. Now, this is a great teachable moment, so I'm not going to fix it without telling you guys what I'm doing. My ear wire is going to make the hoop kind of sit wonky because of like this attachment point here. So I'm just going to twist my loop that's at the bead, and then that helps it to square off and be centered. Oh, these really did come out the way I hoped. I'm so excited.
That's always a good thing, right? You never know.
In my head, I was like, that sounds like a great idea. Let's show everybody and maybe muck it up. Oh, Heather, the beads look so beautiful. They make the whole earring.
This is so much fun. And hi, Katie and Anne from Guardian Beads. Glad to have you here. Okay. Do you want to show us Did you show it to us?
Yeah. The earring?
I missed it.
I was like,
too busy creating. So can you again tell us what you did on what beads you used on the bottom.
Okay, so along the frame, which is a 30 millimeter frame listed on our website, there's a size 8 seed bead with a modified brick stitch, and that whole row is done just with the 8s. The medium sized purple ones in your curated set from today would work perfectly for that. And then once I added, I think it would end up being an odd number of beads if you're going in every other one.
Yeah.
We'll
that
see.
Seems right.
Seems right. But basically, you have to have sets of 3 all the way along. Yeah, they'd have to be odd to then go back through, and you come out the end when you turn around from completing your brick stitch. And I added an 11, an O bead, a rondelle, an O bead, and an 11. And then I skipped 1 8 and went through the 3rd. So like started, if I was coming out of number 1 in the row, skipped 2, went into 3, and then came out of 4 and added the set, skipped 5, went through 6. So that all the way along to complete the stitching, and then did that little wrap to kind of snug my humble bead up against the top there to hang the.
You're making me feel like really optimistic, like I could give it a try and actually do it.
I've seen you do some seed bead beading.
Yes.
I have every faith in you, Heather. You're so funny. Oh my gosh. I didn't
Seemed
even
like
see
a minimal amount of counting. I could handle it.
I'm coming over. I didn't see what you did before for the first
Oh,
time.
okay. Well, I'm going to flip over to my camera now, guys, and I'm working on a necklace here next. Here's my little earring that I did, Cassandra. And I've done 3 little drops with the bicones, the rondelles, and the pinch beads. And it's like 1.5 inches of each one. And I'm going to add that to my bird. On the bird, I used the bead cap, the little flower bead cap with one of the rondelles on top.
I love those bead caps that you,
Yes.
they just feel like they fit all of your beads so
They
well.
do. And so I'm going to use a jump ring. I think it's like a size 8. Or it could be 9.25. Not sure, but 8 or 9 millimeter jump ring on the bottom. Adding these guys on. And then we're going to slip this on here. Close that up, and then on the top, I'm going to use a 17 millimeter roped jump ring. Love the look of that. So that's my focal pendant. I love the birds, Jody. You just put a bird on it, and it's perfect, right? And now I'm going to do some knotting with some of these check glass beads. I'm going to be using the little drops, the bicones, and the pinch beads. And so let me show you how I'm going to get that started. And I'm using 2-ply waxed linen. And I'm going to, I have, this is 60 inches of 2-ply waxed linen. And I'm folded it over in half and made a little loop. And then I'm going to stick the ends through the hoop. The hoop is in the back, and then the ends are going through the front. Just make a little lark's head knot there. Just a really tiny little one. And we're going to add on the drop bead first. And I'm going to see if I can get it through both strands. But if I can't get it through both strands, I'll show you guys a little trick. Oh, yep, went through both strands. Awesome. Put that all the way down and tie a knot. And just to tie a knot, I'm just doing a simple knot. Wrap it around your finger. Pull the 2 ends through. And I'm going to push that knot all the way down to my bead, nice and tight. There are little tools you can use for knotting, but I don't have time to pull that out. I'm just going to use my finger. And now I'm going to separate the two strands, which is why I'm using the 2-ply wax linen doubled over, because I'm going to do two. Oh, I lied. I'm going to do one more. Oh, I messed it up. Well, let's pretend I didn't. I'm just going to put the little bicone on the top. I actually wanted to do it above and below, but no one knows except for me and you, so I'm just going to pretend that didn't happen. And now this little guy, he's too small to go on both cords, so I'm going to stick him on, or strands, they're not cords. I'm going to stick him on one strand. Pull them all the way down. And then one cord is going to go on the outside there. Go. And then the other cord goes through the bead. I'm going to do the same simple knot. Knotting projects are really fun to take on the go when you have maybe games you have to sit outside and watch, or you're going camping or on the beach someplace, or you just want to sit outside in your garden and bead. Knotting, you need very minimal. You just need a pair of scissors. And so that makes a great outdoor project on the go. And I'm doing these pinch beads. I'm going to do 2 on each side. And then we're going to do a knot on the top. And I'm using a dark burgundy color that I thought worked well with the color palette here. Added a little bit to it. The darker knots kind of recede into the background a little more than a lighter knot, a lighter colored thread. Okay, and now I'm going to repeat the pattern, except this time I am going to do a little orange guy on the bottom, and then the drop, and then an orange one again. I wanted that little pop of orange so that all those colors relate to the little dangles that we have underneath the bird. And now for the larger drops, they can go through both cords. It's so cute. You guys think I love it.
I can't wait.
I love the pinch beads. They're kind of an unsung hero. You don't think much about. They're not like on the top of my bead shape list, but whenever I use them, I'm always surprised at how wonderful they nestle together and work together in little clusters.
Yeah, they're like an elongated bicone. It's like a more simplistic facet. So I think simplistic facet, excuse me. So sometimes people maybe don't really think of them at first, but yeah, they're fabulous.
And do you have a little collection of different colors on your website of pinch beads? A few?
I have some in my possession. Whether or not they're listed is a whole other story, but I definitely should. Yeah, they exist.
They're somewhere.
Especially if people were interested in knowing about more colors, that would make me probably get my act together and make sure they were available.
Yeah, so if you're digging the pinch beads, just leave a comment and let Cassandra know.
Get to work.
More pinch beads. After our procrastination trip, though.
Yeah.
Which we have one more day.
Yes, I'll be headed back to Jackson tomorrow, guys.
sometimes it takes all your concentration to get the beads on the knot.
Yes.
Or on the thread, cord, whatever we want to call it. And I like wax linen cord. It's a personal preference of mine, but you could use any thread that you use for knotting. People like, is it Ceylon? Is that what? Ceylon's a
That's
good
one of the brands. Yep.
Yeah.
Ceylon
Or
or Essilon or some kind of lawn.
One of those lawns.
A lettered lawn.
I like the wax linen because you don't have to do any glue or anything on it. The wax holds the knots together very, very tightly. If you've ever had to untie a knot.
Sounds like you might have some
a little personal experience with that
Heather.
one. Yes.
Oh, you talking about our margarita and taco plans later made me think of that magical day in Mexico that we spent together on the bead cruise.
So much fun.
Cozumel, mango frozen margarita.
Served in a pineapple. Did I have one in a pineapple? Or a
on
coconut?
On the beach, we had either a pineapple or a coconut drink because we had to, right? There's a picture
because it's just meant to be.
It's a requirement. But that restaurant we went to before we got back on the ship had really delicious drinks too.
Yes. Unfortunately, my little beach town does not compare in the Mexican food department.
Wow.
We're going to relive the moment anyways.
Yes. Not a reasonable expectation for any spot in the U.S. to compare to that quite in the same way.
I will admit, I do miss Texas Mexican food.
Oh, yeah.
Really bad.
Had really good Mexican food, huh?
Yeah. Okay, again, going with both cords through the purple drops. Thank you. Okay. All right, guys, we're back. Sorry for the little hiccup. My sound wasn't on just now. And so, here we go. You guys are all back. You can hear me. Everything's fine now. Let me know. That was always fun. I haven't done a video in a few months, so I'm just going to blame it on that.
Sounds right.
So you guys can hear me? Okay, now you can hear me. Thank you, Sheila. Appreciate you so much.
Bead Mom to the rescue.
Oh, that was Sheila Sheets.
Oh.
But I'm sure Sheila would have rescued us too. Okay, good. Thank you, guys. Like I was saying, we had a little hiccup with the computer, but it's all fixed and back and working wonderfully. So I'm going to keep working on this. I'm going to do one more, and then I'm going to knot it to chain because I have very little patience, and just a little bit of beading is good enough for me. And then I'm going to do chain around the rest of the necklace, and then I'm going to do same repeat pattern on the other side, and then this will be one necklace done. Cassandra, are you ready for us to?
I've got a little bracelet I've been working on. I don't know how I continue to like. I mean, it's very simplistic so far, but so I'm sure if you follow Heather and I, then you know our dear friend Nile from Silver Silk and more.
Oh, nice.
He's the official. And I had this little like scrap of beautiful leather with his wire knitting over it in my stash, and everything's going to be a mix of copper and silver for me today.
That's a perfect color for that.
Yeah. So I'm making this part short enough for the bracelet so that I can use my bird as like a clasp sort of area component. And then I think I'm going to do some like dangles off of this. It's going to be kind of a charm bracelet. So I will continue to show you guys my process here. This part's not fun, but on camera, maybe it'll be helpful for you guys to see how to size something. So I'm like holding everything, and the distance of like the length on the leather right now is actually still, you don't want it to come all the way to your clasp because there's going to be extra things there connecting our bracelet. So I'm gonna chop off another little section of this leather, which breaks my heart, but you know. It's like
every inch is precious, right?
I know. And I tried to like guesstimate, but I needed to lop off a little bit so I could work with it. And then Neely has these beautiful crimp findings for a bunch of his products. And that just makes this really easy because you just slide it over your leather or whatever cord you're using from him. That there's specific crimp findings for specific products. And then just give it a gentle squeeze with your pliers. No glue needed. Holds like a dream. And then the other attachment point here for me is just going to be a jump ring between my clasp. And this is our favorite ball and socket clasp style clasp that we use all the time. And then I'm going to use one of these, probably about an 8mm jump ring or so. So that'll provide a spot to dangle some beads. And then I might even wrap some beads onto the leather with wire, or I might do a little bit of, oh gosh, macrame with, I have some of my soft flex beading wire here with me. Try saying that 3 times fast.
I like the charm bracelet idea. I'm kind of obsessed with charm bracelets lately.
I know. I feel like I see in necklaces too.
Yes.
I got one in coppers already that I recently made. And oh, I feel like I kind of have a little bit of a spot in my jump ring here.
Sheila Sheets said, beautiful color palette.
Aw, thank you, Sheila.
Katie said, love the bracelet.
Yay. Yeah, this will be fun. Okay, so I'm going to unclasp it for the sake of making my life easier for while I do other things too. I have another piece that I made with one of Heather's beads and did some like strands, and it's kind of like an asymmetrical piece of magic that I really love. So it's probably the other thing that inspired this.
Yay.
I'm trying to decide, is it going to be too much if I throw at least one of those disc beads in here? I don't know.
All you can do is try it.
We were talking about our friend Kristen earlier, and she did some really cute attachment with the daggers along, I want to say it was on a piece of silver silk where they just hung off one direction. I'm kind of feeling that idea for this too.
That sounds cool.
Stabby stabby. Totally feel like I could finish my other earring too. Those went way faster than I expected.
Oh, yay.
It's always nice when that's the case.
Right?
Because I've got all this purple in the leather, even though I used my copper bird, I'm going to want to be careful about placement of other purples because I want to have some balance. That's why I'm setting those daggers down. I set down the coppery orange flower instead of the bluey purpley one because I just think we're going to need a little bit of balance there. But oh, let's see, there's some 22 gauge wire here again, maybe another foot. I'm going to try to remember the stagger situation. It feels like right sort of towards the middle of the leather would be good. So I've just got like a little bit on the end of my piece of wire there. I'll wrap a few times around. And I think the general idea was just that the daggers were like strung. I'm going to start with 3 and see how I feel about that. And I'm going through, these holes are easy to see because they're crystal colored beads. So I'm going through the holes that are closest to the one end, not the like sort of middle holes.
Which is totally fine, guys, because it actually looks decorative when you do it that way, doesn't it? It just looks like it's part of the decoration or design of the thing. It doesn't look like you've missed a hole.
Yes, exactly. And normally with the multi-hole beads, you can't even see where the holes are the way you can here. So, oh my gosh, yes. It's like a little bird feather.
Yes,
hanging
that's
off
so
the
cute.
edge. And again, totally crediting Kristen with this idea because...
Well, thank you, Kristen.
Now, the one thing I will say is I'm going to make sure and trim up like the top of where the bracelet will sort of be with the flow of the leather and all that. You don't want that like end to be right next to your skin. So, but if you keep your coils nice and tight, you should be okay as far as like that not like coming undone or catching on something. I'm gonna give it a little smush too, just to be safe.
And hey guys, don't run away yet. At the end of the video, we are going to do 2 gift certificate drawings to our shops. So one from Beads to Live By and one from Humble Beads. Not that you were going anywhere to begin with, but
this is way too interesting. Never know what might happen next.
I know, right?
Oh my gosh, you guys. I don't know when I have been so obsessed with something so quickly.
I love that.
Makes me not want to do anything else with it except that I know I want some more dangles. So. Let's see. Gotta grab a head pin. Got some plain copper ones over here. I was telling Heather when I got here that I have piles of ball end head pins, which I love, and I had the silver ones out here earlier, but I totally didn't have any at home to grab when I was packing to leave on Sunday. So I was frustrated with myself, but you know what? Sometimes things just happen the way they're supposed to happen, right?
That's right.
What else can we do?
And for you Michigan girls who are watching, just want to remind you guys that Cassandra does have a super inspiring little brick and mortar bead store over in Jackson, Michigan. And it's definitely a fun day trip if you guys are in driving distance to head on over and visit her shop and see all the goodies she has.
Thanks, friend.
Yes.
Wish you were closer.
I know.
You guys
I would
so
be over there
us.
all the time.
We would be constantly doing things like this.
Yes. Okay, my knotting has been going very well over here.
Oh, yay. Should we see what you're up to? Not yet.
Not yet.
That was too much hesitation.
I'm like, But we are, it's 2:15.
Where has the time gone?
I know, it just zipped right by. So I think we'll, as soon as you get yours done,
no, I'm not going to finish.
You're not going to finish? Oh, okay.
There's too many decisions that need to be made about it, but I'll post pictures, guys, okay?
I think what we'll do is show off things on my camera, since mine comes coming in just a little bit here. So we'll give a little overview again of what we've done. All right, so here's my little bird necklace in process. I'm not sure. I might do a few more. I might repeat the pattern on the other side with the purple. I'm feeling like it needs to be just a little extra. And then the knotting, I love the way that's turned out with the little pinch beads, which are my favorite things to play with so far today are those little pinch beads. I'm really enjoying them. So I'm going to finish doing the pattern, and then we're going to attach that to a chain. Very simple and easy. And then my little earring, again with the check glass beads and seed beads from Cassandra's bead mix, and then the disc bead that's also in the mix. And this is the copper color. All the beads, the check glass beads are the same, and then the polymer clay beads are different. And we have the bracelet from Cassandra in progress. And oh yeah, I love the colors you got going on in this little bird feather. Let's put it the right way. That's adorable. And then he's just a cute little check glass bead at the bottom, and she's going to keep working on it and finishing up all her little extra touches that she's going to put on it. I also really love the clasp. Are those on your website?
Yes, those are the
Awesome.
ball and socket clasps.
Ball and socket clasp. Okay. Oh, I love seeing these up in person even more. Okay, so you guys can see all the beadwork she did on the bottom. Oh, I didn't even notice they were little O beads on the bottom. That's so cute. And also, look at that fancy wire work that she did with that bead. Love it. And so that's what we've created with the Procraftination bead bundles so far. And we have so many beads left to play with. And
so many beads.
Keep going. We'll post some pictures later with all the goodies that we get finished. Thank you guys for joining us. Let's head over to the giveaway. Okay. 1 second. Let me get that going again. certificate. Okay, we're going to use the hashtag all caps bestie. And let me share that with you so you can see it on the screen. One second. Well, here, I'll put it in the comments and so that you guys can see that. Okay, hashtag bestie. We're going to use, we're going to draw 2 winners, one for Humble Beads and one for Cassandra's Beads to Live By. So go ahead and hashtag bestie while we just ooh and ah over the creations once more.
And I would like to say right now, thank you to everyone who is here with us and shopping. Yes. It's been such a good soulful visit for Heather and I, and we couldn't have made this happen without you guys supporting us. So we appreciate you all.
Yes, thank you. And hopefully we inspired you in turn. Yeah, I like that. That's just the whole collection.
It is.
It looks so good together.
Oh my gosh. Just amazing.
I love it. Okay, we're getting lots of little comments here for hashtag bestie. And if you get time to spend time with your bestie anytime soon, whether it's on Zoom, beading together, or in person, I highly recommend it. It's good for the soul. Okay. Sheila said, I'll be shopping after the live. Yes, very inspiring. Thank you. And Rosalinda says, thank you for all the great ideas. Can't wait to get her bead bundle. Yay, thank you. And the bead bundles are, of course, through Cassandra. She'll be shipping them out. She's going to be taking the beads home from Humble Beads and getting those out for you guys.
Smuggling some precious Humble Beads back to Jackson.
Yes.
Good thing nobody knows what my license plate number is.
That's funny. Oh, I love it.
I feel like I need an armed guard or something on the way home.
Right. Okay, we are going to do the drawing in just 1 second. Hashtag bestie is going to enter you into the drawing. Make sure you've done that if you haven't already. Okay, and now we are ready to draw our first one. What if it picks my name? That would be funny.
Because you have to do it to test it.
Oh, Katie.
Clowen.
Yes. Well, I'm so excited for you, Katie. So, that'll be for the Humble Beads gift certificate.
Woohoo!
And I'm going to put my email address up there and go ahead and email me. And then we'll at humblebeads@gmail.com, and we'll get that gift certificate over to you. Yay! All right, and now our second winner, which is going to be for Cassandra's Beads to Live By, which is super fun to shop in. And Pat Moore. Woohoo!
Congratulations, Pat.
And is Pat one of your customers?
Pat sounds familiar.
Okay.
And
well, I'll just put your email on there.
Just shoot me an email, Pat, and that gift certificate is good for in person as well as on the website. So whatever your preferred shopping method is.
Nice. Okay, Pat, there is Cassandra's email, Cassandra at Beads to Live By. Shoot her an email and she will get your gift certificate out to you too. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Let's see if we can. We had to move the camera, so we have no idea what this is going to look like when we
I know it's
pick a different camera.
Low profile shot here that's coming up.
I'm a little scared.
Underneath the
I'm
faces.
scared.
I know. I'm trying
Oh, there we go. That worked. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We really loved having you. Oh, I should make sure it's. Oh, there we go. I hope we inspired you. You have another video coming up soon with your curated collection.
Yes, I'm going live with our friend Danielle Wicks tomorrow evening. I will probably be tossing my laundry into our washer and dryer as I walk past it on my way to my video.
That's awesome. And again, the bead bundles are at Cassandra's. I'll pop in the link where to go get those real quick.
So I stuck it under the curated collections, guys, in case you're familiar with our website. But
here we
Heather's
go.
Gonna pop
Put
that
it in
link
the
down.
Comments. You can click right on the comments that I just put up there for you guys. And so, Beads to Live By. It's in the comments section. Yay! Cindy, I'm glad you were able to pop in at the last minute. Definitely feel free to watch the video. You guys can watch it at Humble Beads or Beads to Live By on Facebook or on the Humble Beads YouTube page.
But grab those bundles. There's not very many of them.
Oh, yes. Yeah, don't wait too long because we just made a few. All right. Hi, Kim. Thanks. Take care, guys. We're going to go have fun for the rest of the afternoon. And we'll look forward to seeing what you guys make with the bead bundles when they arrive. All right. Bye, guys.